This episode of The Informative Fisherman is brought to you by Shasta Tackle, luring you to the best of fishing, and P-Line. Now let's get back with your host, Nick the Informative Fisherman. Hey, what's up guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here, and today we're in Angels Camp, California, a beautiful little foothill town located in the Calaveras County, just 3 hours outside of the San Francisco Bay Area. This town offers not only its famous Mark Twain's Frog Jumping Jubilee every year, but an assortment of awesome gift shops and fine dining, such as Crusco's Restaurant Italiano, who is more than happy to entertain our taste buds for the evening. And if you get tired, if you feel like crashing out, run up the street and check out the Gold Country Inn, where Tony and his wife Donica would be more than happy to take care of you for the evening. But you guys know me, I'm not just here for the sights. I'm here to fish one of the best fisheries around. That's right, I'm talking about New Melones Reservoir. So let's catch up with the fellas and I down by the water and get to fishing. Hey, what's up guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here today. We're out here at New Melones Reservoir to do a little kokanee and a little rainbow and hopefully some big brown fishing with Doug MacArthur. We're out here in his boat today from MC Fishing Guide Service, and the owner of Shasta Tackle, the man himself, Gary Morales, renowned kokanee specialist and all-around good solid troller. It's good to have you on board, Gary.
Good to be out here.
Doug, thanks for captaining.
I have been looking forward to this for I can't tell you how long. You know,
Me too.
Yeah, it's going to be. And look at this weather. I mean, we just came off what the
Can't ask for better
terrible
than this.
weather. It's been raining day after day, and then, of course we have our trip. And look at it. It's beautiful.
Well, hopefully with conditions lining up, we'll be able to put some solid monsters in the boat and show you guys how good of a time we're having and show you exactly how we're doing it. See, it's just solid red for bait. Yeah, zoom in on that.
I'm near when I kicked up that speed. And even the other day on the other boat, we were up to like 2.8 miles an hour and just slamming them.
What broke here do you? Yeah. You know, Doug, we're here in the middle of April, and we just got done with some serious rain, man. It was, I don't know how many inches, but there were inches. But the lake really looks good today. It's cleared up, and I noticed you took us to an area here where we have a lot of points in it. What are we looking at here today?
We've got several points that we're going to use as landmarks. We're basically going to start off at one point and make a triangle shape because we've been marking and graphing fish through here for the last week or so. As we make our way through these points, we're going to be watching where we're marking these fish, and then as we make each and every turn after that, we're going to start adjusting our depths to our lures to try to get onto those schools of fish we're seeing.
I see, yeah, and then I can see in here, man, you've got some great spots that you can work through here, and we've already seen some fish on the screen, so and we might be there, huh?
Yeah, we're getting close. It's that time of year where things are going to start happening here at Melones, and we're going to start getting into the kokanee real heavy. We've already been catching a lot of smaller ones, and they're just going to start getting bigger from here throughout the summer. Now,
Melones has a good population of kokanee. We also have a good rainbow population, as well as brown trout.
Brown trout as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's on.
Oh, good job.
Little
Looks
guy.
like a kokanee.
Net, please. Thank you, Doug. First coke of the morning. Yeah, he is.
That's a good, healthy looking little coke.
Little male.
Yeah, look at that. Good job. On the Tequila Sunrise, that kokanee right there hit the same lure that the world record kokanee did, which was a 9.5 pound kokanee.
9.5 pounds.
It catches little fish and big fish.
What are you talking about? That's pretty close to 9.5 pounds there.
I'd say 9.25.
9.25 at least.
You got a long ways to go, doesn't
You
it?
got the same scale I got, huh?
What a good little kokanee to start the morning off either way.
Good job.
That's that color that I was saying we've been catching them on up here the last week or two.
That's been a good one.
All right, let's put them in the box.
So Doug, we've got everything laid out here. Basically, we're running a variety of depths. Why don't you kind of explain what we're doing?
We've got two top lines out. One top line's about 100 feet behind the boat. Another top line's about another 30 feet shy of that, so we have offset distances. We've got the two downriggers out, one about 10 to 11 feet, another one out around 22. And then the setbacks on those are also split in the distance of about 50-foot setback and 100-foot on the opposite side. So we've staggered everything in the water column top to bottom in the range we're fishing down to about 22 feet down, about 100 feet back. And that way anything that comes through, if it misses one or is at a different depth, we're going to trigger that strike anywhere in that area.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it, to get back behind the boat a ways with your shallow rods, because the boat goes over, the fish move out. Plus, when you're turning, it allows you to bring those lures back into the fish.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to turn into lures that will actually start to die in the water so that it gives that wounded action. And then as soon as you pick up that speed again, we seem to get a lot of strikes when we're coming across the points.
Oh boy, yes.
As soon as we make that turn, sometimes we kick up the speed because we get a little bit of wind. As soon as you pick up that speed, rods usually tend to go
how
off.
often does that happen when you're out in the lake and you go to make a turn or something happens and then boom, you're catching fish? You know?
Well, sometimes it's you come into that wind and it slows you down. Other times you come into that wind, you got to kick up the speed so it doesn't stop you, and you're not sure sometimes whether it was the kicking up of the speed or the stopping of the speed until you look back at it and replay that point again. Fish on, fish on.
Well, you're hitting them on that same lure?
There he goes, loaded up. That's quality one right there.
Same lure?
No, that's that other sling blade.
We haven't had time to put out that same lure.
That's a kokanee. That's a kokanee. I just seen a beak on him. Oh, maybe not. I thought I saw a little bit of blue in his back right there. Let's see. Go ahead and move this, Doug. I'll stay on him.
Yeah, go ahead. Just go ahead and hang on to him like you are.
Keep him down, keep him down. A lot of the time when you're bringing up the fish like this to the side of the boat, you're going to have a tendency of raising your rod tip too high. And if you horse them up, they got a lot of energy in them. As soon as they hit the surface, they're going to find that second wind and start rolling around. And you're going to give them an opportunity to throw the hook because all that water pressure and that build on your rod's going to come off. So I'm going to let them blow this last little bit of energy right here, and then we're going to net them. Otherwise, he can come up, bounce off, throw the hook. And I don't want to give him that opportunity. You got to take your time with these guys either way because you're using real light line and real light tackle. Real easy net job like that instead of trying to fight them at the edge of the boat and potentially losing your fish.
Well, that's a decent rainbow.
Oh yeah.
On the wiggle.
That's on that.
And he's loose.
Now, if you notice, that is actually on a wiggle hoochie this time, but it's in that same color scheme. It's got the pink and the yellow in that. So that's going to be a hot color today.
Oh, it's been a great presentation out here.
There you go.
All right.
Nice little rainbow there. Now look how pretty that fish is.
Gorgeous.
Real bright, healthy looking.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Well, let this one go, huh?
Probably gonna have that pink Maloney's meat out here.
You know, at Maloney's we have multiple species. We get the rainbows, we get the browns, and the kokanee. And one thing I like about the crippler, it's capable of catching all those species. But one of the biggest mistakes people make when they fish the cripplers and the humdingers and spoons like this is they use a swivel and snap swivel in front of it. I generally like to go direct because it gives it more of a natural look. And I use a bowline knot. They actually go through and you make a loop, go through the loop, underneath, back behind the line, and then back in the loop, the other side. Grab it and pull it down, and I'll take it down to about a ½ inch or so loop. Now that allows that lure to swing freely, looks more natural, and it'll definitely catch more fish for you. Now when I'm fishing cripplers, when we're using them on trout, we're generally going to run these about 2 to 3 feet behind the dodger. But on kokanee, we'll tend to run things closer. And so I'm going to run this at about a 16-inch leader behind the sling blade today because we're going for those multiple species. You know, Nick, you've spent a lot of time studying more details than a lot of guys will get into on when to use what conditions and sky and UV and all that. Now, why don't you spell out a little bit of what you're seeing here today?
Well, basically what we're doing with our outfits here, we got them all set up, and Doug just stated about the staggering them around. Now, kind of what we're doing here is setting up a hit and miss sort of theory and the 2-rod theory for kokanee at the same time. We're actually spreading our lures just past the visual distance after the rain because the water's murkied up a little bit. Normally the visibility here is about 25 to 30 feet, Gary. So with it being about 15 foot, we know the water's gonna warm up a little bit faster because the dirtier water warms faster. So those fish should be triggered and aggressive. And by staggering your lures like that, let's say they come up and miss that bottom one and they fall back. Well, as soon as they come up, rainbows have that triggering mechanism in them, and they come up and you got another lure right in their face. More often than not, that's going to trigger them into the second strike, and you're going to get a lot of second chance opportunities that you wouldn't have before. And the reason why we're setting them back at a further distance, there's that theory of kokanee fishermen that they all have, and every theory stands true to some extent. I say most theories 75 to 80% true on times. And the reason for this is, if you have two lures side by side with the kokanee, and I don't have to tell you, but our viewers should definitely know about this, they commit to attack that lure. They're not eating it out of hunger, they're committing to attack that thing and get it out of their face. They want it out of there. They're an aggressive little bulldog. And more often than not, when they come up and they have two choices, well, now they have to choose. And you give them that choice, they're exerting a lot of energy to get that lure. And instead of coming up and changing their mind at the last second, give them one they can hone in on and come attack it, and keep that other one right out of their visual range and a little wider spread. In that case, if you come through a pocket, you're giving multiple fish the opportunity to target two separate things and not confuse any of them in the school.
You know, when I used to run my underwater camera, I used to see that all the time. We would run the camera in the bottom, and then we'd have the lure above, 10 feet up and further back. And quite often we'd see the fish leave the lure at the camera, and then all of a sudden you'd hook fish. And it was obvious to me at that point that, yeah, he would laugh, and then all of a sudden he was maybe surprised or reaction strike on that other bait.
Yeah.
And
it's that hit and miss, I tell you.
Now I've got another Coke here. There we go. Boy, that definitely is a pattern that's working right there.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
a small fish, but that's the same thing.
Same color.
Yeah. Now we hit that one at 35 feet. That was on that same hoochie, and we actually shortened the leader up even a little more. Typically, we like to do is fish no more than about 2 times the length of the Dodger, and so that's about right. And definitely did the trick.
Just way more.
You know, Doug, that spinner hoochie, that Tequila Sunrise, is normally a very good kokanee and salmon lure, but you were saying the other day you were catching a lot of trout on that out here.
We went through our colors and started figuring out what was going on with the fish a few days ago when we were here. And once we noticed that the only rod that would continuously get hit between these 3 points we're working was the same color. So I tried changing between the spinner hoochies, the wiggle hoochies, and the regular hoochies with that same color. And as we added each new one out there with that same color, they continually were striking that color and nothing else that day.
Oh.
So this has been the popular color for last week.
There you go. Well, maybe it'll do it again today.
So we'll see.
How you been?
Good, Gary. How about yourself?
Oh, good, man. Just busy.
I'm ready for kokanee season.
Oh,
man.
I
I'm
know
ready.
you are.
I don't want to be cane pole Gary anymore.
Yeah, no kidding.
We'll talk to you later, guys.
It's good seeing you.
Down from me, Doug. Down and burn straight forward. You're fine.
There we go.
And as soon as it hits, just keep your rod, come back about 10. There you go. Rainbow.
Oh, it is a bow.
Okay. And go ahead and lift.
There you go.
And we're cleared. Okay.
Now
Go ahead and come tight.
That is the brass
Go
with
tight
the
on
orange
me.
Oh,
grip
yeah,
lure
when I saw
that
this,
you just rigged
yeah,
up.
when I saw that silver on him, I thought for sure that was a Coke, but
Yeah, he was rolling like one too.
yeah,
How they do that little kick and then flip over.
I don't even think I had it set in place.
Yeah.
I put it in, turned around to see, make sure nothing else was behind me.
Yeah. This time of year, that orange gold, that is just a solid color for trout. I mean, you know, the fish are up, and it's real bright, real visible, and yeah, it worked. But you know, we've caught some fish today on the wiggle hoochie, and I tell you, the wiggle hoochie has just become a solid producer for every species, really, trout, kokanee, salmon. And so it was a natural thing to go and progress to a larger size, the 4.5-inch wiggle hoochie. We just came out with these, and as you can see, it's got a huge bill on it, real heavy duty, solid. And this bait, I can tell you right now, is going to be just phenomenal for bigger species, whether we're talking stripers, brown trout, even the larger salmon in the ocean, and of course in the lakes. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, he's dunking it. Patience with him, patience. You're popping, You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good. All right.
I'm looking it up thinking, is Gary messing with my board? And I think, well, he can't be. He's way underneath the boat.
I'm actually over there sleeping while all these fish are hitting over there.
I didn't want to hit you with the pole, but
Yeah. But you know, all you gotta do is slap me once and I'll wake up. So man, we're finding fish all over the place, man. We're picking them up on planer boards on top. We're getting fish at 36 feet down there on the downriggers. What's the deepest fish we pulled today? What?
35, 35?
35, yeah.
I don't know, okay. So, you know, these fish are really spread out today. Now that's a real common springtime condition, you know, because the fish are really, the water temperature from the surface down may be real consistent.
I just kicked up the speed a tad right before that hit.
Wow.
I was coming in the wind again.
Whoop. There we go.
Doug lighting it up
Look
with
at
the
that.
planer board.
Now,
Is that a coat?
Notice this.
Oh, okay.
We were fishing a crippler, which is a typical trout lure, and on the surface, and guess what? Kokanee on the
Hey,
surface.
Look who's there.
You never know this time of year, do you?
These guys just love to come up and crush it.
Yeah, that's pretty fish.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he's got a little belly to him.
Oh, yeah, it's starting to put
Real
on a little
good
weight.
eating.
Great, good deal. You know, as things progress into the summer, we're going to be fishing deeper and deeper. So we're going to want to stack rods. You know, run 2 rods on one downrigger. And the shuttle hawk, this is a great device for that. We're actually going to be able to use this for that second rod. Now, I've hooked one up on my downrigger release, and I actually have it 10 feet below. Canon, because the stops won't go through the pulley very well, I actually use the ultra release for a stop, and you can see we snapped it on there. Then we'll put the release on the cable and it'll sit there. Now that's 10 feet above the bottom lure. So when we drop this down in the water, that's going to be 10 feet above the other lure. Now we'll go ahead and drop this down. Let's say we're fishing at 36 feet. That one's at 36. Then we take the shuttle hawk, and I've already put this back. Now generally when I'm setting them up, I'm going to want to put the second rod 10, 15 feet further back than the bottom. Because what happens, those fish come in there and they're looking at that bottom lure, and if they don't take it, they leave and they come up, and then boom, they see another lure and they react to that, and they'll often hit that second bait. Now the shuttle hawk also has this release. You adjust that screw to the diameter of your line, put it on the cable, slides through these notches. This rubber band on the back, we put that on there as a little extra security. Run that across the loop, that'll keep them from working their way off. I've already put this back, that additional 10 feet. Make a loop, spin it, roll it, and then it goes up against the back of the release, pull down in the release, flip it back forward. They're ready to go. Now, we'll let this back down. Release the spool. Now 2 things, we can either use the clicker so that'll keep tension on it, drop it in the water, set it in the rod holder, and down it goes. Now generally, you want to have your speed up to 1.5, 2 miles an hour, this thing will fly down. We're running a little slower than that, so it will take time to get down at this speed. The other thing we can do is turn to the right as it's going down, and that'll also speed it up. But as you sit here, you'll watch and listen. Once that clicker quits turning as fast, or it stops, you know you're down there. You can also watch your fish finder and actually see it on the fish finder going down. That also helps. But anyway, it's a great way to fish 2 rods. Now the neat thing about this is when the fish actually hits that second rod, it releases the shuttle hawk, the weight rolls to the back, it'll plane back to the surface, so you don't have to crank your weight up. So you can actually leave your first rod, the lure down the bottom, still in the water, reset, send it back down again. Just great. Now you can see it stopped, we're there. All right, now, I'll release it, I'm fighting my fish. While I'm bringing in my fish, that shuttle hawk is actually on its way. As that diver changes the balance, the weight will roll to the back in the bottom of it, and it'll make its way up. Now it'll come up at about 1 foot a second, and you can see here it comes. Right back to the surface. So now we're ready to go. We bring it in. Grab it. Hook it up again. And down we go again. Easy. Huge benefit.
This dude's toast.
Yeah, a little kokanee. Look at that, probably been on there a while. I got that other one got hit. I just put that orange scorpion spinner on. That little guy. There you go.
New
That'll
strategy.
Eat, though. That'll eat.
Oh yeah.
Troll a kokanee to catch a kokanee. Another board fish.
Well, still there.
Yeah, he's loaded. I see him. I seen the flash.
Did it release? I guess it did.
Yeah, it's released.
I think this might be another surface kokanee, guys. Check it out.
Oh yeah, you got a fish roll.
Out in the middle of the lake, catching kokanee on cripplers on the surface off side planers.
Well, I told you we've been working on figuring out this early season.
Yeah, that's fun.
Why don't you bring it straight up here?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Step a little bit to your right. Hug the right a little bit.
There we go.
Oh! Holy, he's diving. Hold on. Got him. He kept diving down under.
These little guys are so wiry, man.
Oh, it's a rainbow.
Oh, it is a little bow. I thought for sure that was a coat. Look how silver it is. Looks like a little coat. Look how slim he is, boy. He's just starting to eat. Want to keep that one?
Yeah, we can go ahead and release him. He's in the lip, right?
Yeah, he was fine. He's gone. Man, that lure has been kicking rear today. That's what, 4th fish on that combination?
This one.
That's the tequila sunrise, right?
Yeah, that's 4. Wow, he's little.
Yeah,
he kept corn thieving me. It's probably another kokanee.
They're sure liking it.
I'm gonna
I
bring
told you
him
we
around.
picked that apart.
We could probably.
I see a black tail, but it looks like a balloon back to him. Whoa.
You gotta put him on the inside of the net. Not the out. Well, okay,
Hey,
that
cool,
works.
a dip net.
Dip net.
Well,
How many shad you get
that
that
was
time?
by far the worst netting job I've ever seen.
Hey, he's
Well,
in the boat.
Not
He
quite.
is in the boat, and I did not lift that
Yeah,
fish.
look at that. Look
Another
what a
kokanee.
small fish, huh?
Yeah, but
But look, that lure. I mean, look how they go after those baits. That's
He
fun.
picked
He'll
4.
eat.
He picked 4 corns off of that and got down to the last one.
Yeah, it's funny. They will do that. I've watched them on film. They just come up and just grab a piece and grab that. Doug, why don't you explain to us how that side planer works and how we rig that up? Now I'm back, what, 40 feet?
about 40 feet back, we
Okay.
put that crippler back out there. We've got it all scented up with some Procure. We take our snap, we put our snap right on line here, and we flip it around so that the release, we have the Shasta release here that's going to go right on top of that board. Snap it into place, and then just we're going to just raise it over the side of the boat, over the top of the rest of our rods, and hit the release, open, and let it fall out about another 50 to 100 feet, however far away from the boat you want to be. And once you lock that down and set it up to keep the tip of the rod up, that'll help keep that line drag out of the water, so you won't have that drag pulling against your board.
And you go back however far you want,
However far you
further
want.
out. And it works off, what, about a 45-degree angle?
Yeah,
So-
it's going to put it almost perpendicular to the boat. So once you get it back, like right now, we're about 50 feet back.
There's
So
100
the
feet
board's
wide.
50, 60 feet away, about 60 feet away from the rod right now, and another 40 feet back is your lure. So our lure's 100 foot back, far enough away from the rest of our presentation of the boat.
Yeah.
And now as you see, as we tighten that up, it's going to swing around so that it will basically be off to the side in case we get a strike. It won't interfere. There's a pop right there, right in front of us.
Yep, that's a good one.
So while we're setting the side planer, the downrigger is going to go ahead and release.
Yeah. Well, this feels like a decent fish. Yeah.
I'm telling you, this tape pond's incredible.
Well, I tell you, now look, we moved out in the middle of the lake. We've been working points all morning, and the bite went off, and now we've moved out into the open water.
We come out of the open water because we went across those slicks.
This is a nice kokanee. I mean, for this time of year. Fighting hard.
Yeah.
Really fighting hard.
Good one, Gary.
There we go. Unless it might be a bow, but it's sure fighting like a kokanee.
Come on.
Oh, now there's nothing wrong with that fish for this time of year right there. Look at that.
There we go.
Scorpion spinner. UV red, right on the tip of the lip there. That's about a, oh, what, 12?
Nice and healthy
12.
looking fish.
Come back here. They're slippery. Anyway, they're decent fish.
Oh yeah, he's pumping, he's pumping, he's pumping. Step back a little to the right, Gary.
Oh, that's a decent, looks like a trout, huh?
Oh yeah, look at that blue back on.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Nice.
That thing's only been out, what,
You just
100 yards? Maybe 100 yards. We come up across that point, and I dropped it in play. And got about 100 yards
Now
with
look
it.
how skinny, look at these fish. Got that little teaser grub on the back there. Feels like a pretty good one. Biting hard like a Coke too. Woo! Yeah,
Oh yeah!
another Coke. Well, that's 3 on the red, fire red scorpion. That little red blade, fluorescent red. Actually, this will could be even considered UV the way it fluorescents. Glow bead center, double hooks. Look at that fish was committed. Look at both hooks, just buried. Wow.
Shasta tackle
Oh, that fish
all
was-
day.
That was hungry.
Not a single other thing.
Look
Shasta
how
tackle.
deep, look how deep that was.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah,
Both
that
of them.
fish wasn't going to get off.
No way. He knew what he was going after.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Healthy looking fish.
Another friendly gentleman for the bucks.
Good eating. You know, it's, you know, you see us using a lot of corn for kokanee, and a lot of people often ask, why are you using corn? I mean, really, it's not something they would normally eat. And that's true. But what we get with the corn is we scent them up. A lot of times we'll use Procure scents, different scents. You make up different scents. And the best scents, usually for me on kokanee, I like to use garlic a lot. The kokanee special is always a good one. Also, carp spit. Why carp spit, I don't know, but it does work. Sometimes we'll mix up even krill and shrimp, herring. I mean, really, there's no limit to what you can mix your corn of it. But it's always a good idea to come up with 2 or 3 different scents that you like the best, try them, and they work, and then, you know, use those every day. And I might start off with one scent in the morning and switch to another later, and it can make a difference. But really what the corn does is the scent is, of course, an attractant that draws them in. And second of all, the corn also works as what I believe a focal point. So in other words, when the fish come up to hit that bait, they actually see the corn, that's what they go after and how they hit it. Now, if you're getting short struck, when you're using the dual hooks like we got on this scorpion spinner, if I'm getting short struck, I'll put the corn up on the front hook, and you'll often get your fish to go up and hit deeper on the hooks. You won't lose as many fish that way.
That's the
Have you had any of mine,
Keep it
Bill?
loaded. If you're loaded,
Yeah,
perfect.
there you go.
Perfect. There was a lot of color at 20 feet.
Yep.
And then it was probably right about when we made that turn.
Yeah, I did. I had
Did,
the
okay,
line.
okay.
It was going down on the shell.
Doug.
I got caught. I was right in the middle of letting that shell hawk down, and that thing got hit. Feels like a decent fish. Whoa! Yes, it is.
It is.
Drag's a little tight now.
You okay? You okay?
All right. Hooked up pretty good though. Yeah. Beautiful.
There we go.
Fish. That's a nice rainbow. Nothing wrong with that fish right there. Now see, we got out there on those side planers. You know, on a day like today, the fish are up shallow. Some of the trout are anyway. The water temperature's warmed up into the mid 50s, getting up in the upper 50s. Perfect temperature for the fish to come up on top. That orange gold typical pattern for this time of year. That'll always put trout in your boat when they're up on the surface. And this is good to down to about 20 feet, 25 feet. But boy, when they're on top, man, that's just a hot number. And that's a pretty rainbow. Look at this. Wow. See, that's, I mean, for any lake out there, I mean, that's a nice, healthy fish. I tell you, you guys, you did a great job today. I mean, we caught all these trout, at all different depths, mostly on top, but then we even got kokanee, and kokanee right on the surface on a side planer knot. You only see that in the spring. But great day. I have to tell you guys, I really enjoyed this. It was a beautiful day, and man, some nice fish. Thank you so much.
We're just having too much fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, this is great. Doesn't get much better than this, does it? Well guys, we had a great day today. Obviously, we got some dinner on the table tonight.
Oh yeah.
And just fun. We got some nice trout, kokanee, and the whole thing.
Not bad for the morning.
Beautiful day.
Oh,
And
gorgeous.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Gary. Ready, Dave?
Yeah.
Are you catching all the fish you should be catching? Love it. I love it, Gary. I love it. Good times.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that was a blast.